before Michael became one of the highest-ranking members of the Colombo crime family.
In 1975, I actually took an oath with 5 other gentlemen, became a sworn made member of the family.
Before he masterminded one of the most lucrative tax scams in U.S. history, making millions every week.
It was a lot of money. We were bringing in $7-8 million a week at times, sometimes $10 million.
Before he walked away from the Mafia and became a motivational speaker.
Throw out a word that gets him a little bit and he'll talk more. And as he's talking, you can kind of figure out.
The Mafia is something you hear about online, but being a mobster takes more than you might imagine. From aspiring to be a doctor, becoming a major figure in the Mafia, and eventually leaving it all behind to share his story today, Michael Franzese has done it all. Let's dive into how he got into the Mafia world and where he is today.
I was appointed a capo regime or captain, which is a very powerful position.
I'm Yusuf, aka ZXC, and this is Before They Were Famous. We're bringing the community back to this channel with giveaways and contests coming soon. For now, let us know in the comments who we should feature next, and if we pick your suggestion, we'll shout you out. Now, let's get into the video. Michael Franzese was born in Brooklyn, New York on May 27, 1951. Growing up, his mother was strict, and he had to grow up quickly because his father became a major target of law enforcement.
But he told me he was innocent. You know, with a 50-year sentence, he would die in prison if he didn't get help.
This is where his story begins. As a kid, Michael didn't know exactly what was going on, but he remembered long periods when his dad wasn't around. One time, when his father returned home after being away for some time, Michael discovered that their family was at war. He was never explicitly told that his dad did, but it wasn't hard to figure out. His father, John Franzese Sr., was a captain in the Colombo crime family, one rank below the boss.
My dad said he was innocent. He allegedly masterminded a nationwide string of bank robberies.
While his father's role in the Mafia paid the bills, Michael had to take responsibility for his family whenever his dad was away. As the oldest of 4 siblings, he became the man of the house. At 19, Michael's world was turned upside down when his father was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Up until then, Michael had wanted to be a doctor, but his plans for a medical career quickly vanished. Michael believed his father had been framed for masterminding a series of bank robberies. When he visited his dad in prison and asked about it, his father insisted, "I didn't order those bank robberies. I was framed by the government." Driven by anger and a desire to help his father, Michael decided to take matters into his own hands. Around this time, Michael grew closer to Joe Colombo, the boss of the Colombo family. Friends warned him, "Mike, if you don't help your father, he's going to die in prison." Despite his father's wishes for him to stay out of the Mafia, Michael told his dad he was quitting school. At first, his father was disappointed, but when he saw that Michael had made up his mind, he gave him advice. "If you're going to be on the street, you need to do it the right way. Let me ask you, if you ever had to kill someone, would you do it?" Michael replied, "Under the right circumstances, yes." His father nodded, "That's the right answer. Now go home. Someone will be in touch with you. Do what you're told." And just like that, Michael's life in the Mafia began. Michael met with the family boss, who laid out the rules. If you want to be part of this life, you're on call 24/7. Even if your mother is sick and we call you, you come. For the next 2.5 years, Michael followed every order without question. What set Michael apart and elevated him in the Mafia ranks was his gas business. His most lucrative operation was the gas tax scam, where he defrauded the government by avoiding taxes on every gallon of gas sold. With 18 licensed companies, all registered as Panamanian entities, Michael's team would shut down one company and open a new one whenever authorities got too close. He ran this scheme for 7 years, controlling over 300 gas stations and making millions every week. At one point, Michael promised his boss, "I'll show you more money than you've ever seen before." By his late 20s, Michael owned a string of businesses, including car dealerships, restaurants, and even a film production company. He made so much money that it became difficult to manage. To make washing the money easier, because his wife didn't want to bring gas-smelling cash to the bank, he once stored cash in a refrigerator with baking soda to mask the smell of gasoline. Keep in mind, his wife never knew what he was doing was illegal. However, Michael's success made him a target, both for law enforcement and within the Mafia. He discovered that his own father had betrayed him. During a tense meeting with a family boss, Michael learns that his father had failed to defend him when questioned about his operations. Michael faced 5 trials and beat them all, but his downfall came through his partner in the gas scheme, who turned informant. Facing unrelated charges, his partner cut a deal with authorities and provided evidence against Michael. In 1986, Michael was indicted on 14 counts including racketeering, counterfeiting, and extortion. He pled guilty to 2 counts and was sentenced to 10 years in prison and ordered to pay $14 million in restitution. He served 43 months before his release in 1989. In 1991, Michael was sentenced to another 4 years for violating probation, partly due to delays in paying restitution. As reported by Yahoo News UK, he spent 29 months in solitary confinement, refusing to cooperate against a former friend. During this time, music, the Bible, and thoughts of his family kept him going. His wife remained by his side for 8 years, supporting him through it all. After serving his time, Michael was ready to leave the Mafia. When he told his boss, the reaction was unsurprisingly hostile. People don't just walk away from the Mafia. Even his father disowned him for a decade, but Michael stood firm. He never testified against anyone and eventually reconciled with his father, who told him, "If you had listened to me, you could have been the boss of the Colombo family." By then, Michael had embraced Christianity and moved on from his past. A prison guard had given him a Bible while in prison, which led to him becoming born again. Today, Michael Franzese is a best-selling author of books like Quitting the Mob, Blood Covenant, and I'll Make You an Offer You Can't Refuse. He's the founder of the Breaking Out Foundation, a motivational speaker, and a YouTuber, sharing his story to inspire others to change their lives. What do you think about Michael's journey? Would you have done the same if your father were in jail? Let us know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching. Peace out.